What happens when you buy a crashed Porsche Cayenne and decide to fix it yourself, although you have no experience in fixing the cars and never fixed any car in your life? How hard can it be? I decided to find out, and 4 months later I'm still finding out. Join me on my journey. I am Ivan Stan. I am good at computer coding, gym and photography, and now watch me make a short work of this car. Or do I? Stick around to find out. Please also help my channel grow. Like this video, subscribe and post a comment. Hello people, I am Ivan Stan, and this behind me is a crashed Porsche Cayenne GTS that I have just bought. The idea is to rebuild this car without any experience whatsoever, relying only on the information that I find on internet forums, service manuals, YouTube, and the advice that I get from more experienced people than me. The idea is that fixing this car would cost less than getting the one that was not crashed. And at the same time, we get some experience in repairing cars. Let us assess the damage. So obviously we're gonna start with the exterior damage. The car had a frontal hit here. The hood is bent. The bumper is broken. The bumper is actually here. The left side still has some pieces on it. The right side is completely destroyed, so I'm gonna need a new bumper. Then this headlight on the right, first on the driver's side, is broken, as well as the mount. If you look under the hood, a lot of plastics here have been broken. The whole subframe has been pushed inside into the car, so this will have to be pulled back. The fender, of course, is broken, and it slightly damaged the door. I think this one here can be fixed, but this has to be replaced. The rest of the car, the back of the car, is in good condition. No issues. Everything good here. Now let's look at the interior. Okay. So the interior issues. Obviously, both airbags have deployed. So we'll have to replace both the airbags, and I'm gonna have to fix the dash because it's damaged. So to do that, the whole thing is gonna have to come out, the whole dashboard. On top of that, both seat belts have locked. I am not sure if Porsche seatbelts can be rebuilt. If you put a new charge and put them back, if this is gonna work, or if I'm gonna have to get new seatbelts. For the issues that are not that obvious, there's a problem with the radiator, so I'm gonna put some water into the radiator and see what happens. I think that's gonna be enough. And we can see right here that there is a leak. I am not sure exactly where. I'm gonna have to remove all this stuff to find out. The next problem is the steering. And if I look into the steering bottle fluid bottle, it is empty. So there must be a leak in the steering as well. I'm gonna have to find that out. So at the moment the car cannot move because of the steering, and it cannot run more than a few seconds because of the lack of water. And finally, if you look at the height of the car, it's laying very low. It's not supposed to be like that. So there is an issue with the suspension system. the car cannot lift up. The suspension system does not seem to be in the way of the damage, so I'm gonna have to look into the reason of why it's not working. I guess the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm going to try to remove all the broken bits and pieces from the car. That's gonna give me a better idea of the scope of the total damage, and I can start making a list of parts that I need to get. I think I'm gonna try to remove this fender first. For that, I remove the wheel, and I'm gonna take this liner here. I got this tool for hard to reach areas, so if you need to remove the screws and the bolts and it's difficult to reach them, pretty good tool. Okay, now that the liner has been removed, you can see what's happening here. So first, the suspension is not working, it's not lifting up, and when I press on this balloon from the suspension rod, it seems pretty soft. So either something is punctured or there is no compression in the system. Now here I can see the bolts that are holding the fender in place, so I need to remove those. So I'm now going to drill through these rivets so I can separate the fender out and release the last bolt that's holding it in place. Okay, let's go. Separated the fender from the inner piece, and now I need to get out that last screw that's holding it in place. Okay, so the fender is almost completely out, except that there are two screws down there at the bottom that are impossible to reach at the moment. I have to figure out how to get there. Also remove the headlight. The headlight is broken, so probably gonna need to get a new one. I managed to remove most of the fender. However, there is one or two hidden bolts under here, and I cannot access them at the moment. So I'm gonna have to cut the fender here and then remove that piece later. So first I'm gonna drill a few holes. This big drill is not working the best. I'm gonna take the smaller one. The smaller drill. Yeah, smaller drill works a bit better. I have a different tool now, wire cutters. Let's see if this can cut through the fender. Oh, very easy. One thing done, one thing at a time, and we're gonna have that fixed this year. In the next episode, I start removing the broken parts and making a list of parts to order. I removed the radiators from the car and the only fan. I also changed the windshield. Please like this video and subscribe so you get notified when new videos are posted. Next episode will be out in a couple of days. Any comments would be appreciated as well. See you in the next episode.